daily lives. We've organised our lives around her support needs. My wife, Amy, has given up her career to support our daughter and coordinate her care. Together, we provide over 100 hours of unpaid support every week. Government funding sits atop an enormous foundation of unpaid care. This already saves the government significant costs. The question is how much more government can reasonably expect families to absorb and how that impacts a disabled person's independence. We provide all the unpaid care we do because we love our daughter, but we need support. And we can't be her caregiver forever. How many teenagers and young adults do you know who spend every day with their parents? We want our daughter to have the same independence, relationships, and opportunities that any young person should expect. She has a human right to be independent. A system that relies increasingly on parents and family risks moving in the opposite direction. There's been a suggestion that the bill won't change anything and simply codifies the current system. That is not correct. Under the current system, support is fundamentally based on need. Persons' disability-related needs are assessed first, and then the role of natural support such as family is considered. The current system asks, what support does this person need and what help can family reasonably provide? The bill changes that starting point. It states that families have a responsibility, quote, in the first instance for providing support. This is a significant shift. It moves families from being partners with government to being the primary source of support before government support is considered. That inevitably raises questions about the capacity and resources of family members rather than focusing first on the needs of the disabled person. The reality is that families, including ours, are already contributing at or beyond sustainable levels. There is no more. Support will not magically transfer to family members simply because legislation assumes it can. There are also wider consequences. Disability support does not just support the disabled people. It enables their families to participate and contribute to society. This brings me to means testing. It's been suggested that means testing already exists and the bill does not change this. That is not quite correct. Some limited forms of means testing do exist, but they only apply in very specific circumstances, namely housing and vehicle modifications for adults. The bill enables means testing to be applied across all disability support programs. If means testing is to remain in the bill, it should be limited to housing and vehicle modifications for adults. Access to disability support should be determined by need, not by family income or assets. Access to health or education services is not means tested. Why should disability support be? If means testing is introduced, families will face a difficult choice. In my case, if I had to choose between remaining in paid employment while spending my disposable income on disability supports or leaving the workforce to become my daughter's caregiver, I would likely leave the workforce. But that would not be good for my family, my community through my work for iwi and charitable organisations, the economy, or importantly, my daughter. The result would be a highly educated and experienced professional would leave the workforce to perform work that government previously supported. This is not an efficient use of skills or good for national productivity. Earning an income has also enabled us to spend tens of thousands of dollars on disability equipment and other costs. To conclude, disability support is not a welfare benefit. It's an investment that enables disabled people and their families to participate, contribute, and thrive. I ask that disability support remains based on need and that government continues to meet its responsibility to support disabled people and their whānau to participate fully in society. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Thanks,
Happy to
Daniel.
take
Maureen, question.
Thank you. Thanks for coming back, Daniel. I take your point, we've heard it many times about the need to clarify the means testing. I can refer you to the Minister's first reading speech on this bill where she laid it out quite clearly. But I wonder if as part of your submission are suggesting that we actually tighten up the wording in there so it does clarify what it's used for, because it's used for, vehicles and, glass spectacles if they're needed. And so those things are assessed already. And that's what the bill is designed to do, but it's clearly got quite confused.
Yeah,
would you be happy with that clarification?
Well, if the premise is we're not changing anything,
yes,
that needs to be clear in the bill,
yes,
because it's broad sweeping. It gives the minister broad powers to introduce
yes,
means testing to all levels of disability support.
Yeah.
So I would support that.
Okay.
And that I think is what's causing concern for the disability
yes,
community. I
yeah,
mean, you've been
yeah,
here a couple of days, you'll hear more submissions. I'm sure you've got many submissions in writing as well. that are raising these concerns. And it's the same with the family. Some people have called it family first. I call it family substitution. But the first point is that families are at their capacity now. So if it's to reflect the current system, that's more about partnership
Yes.
and disability needs first, and then how can family
And the minister did address
support.
that in her first reading speech, but clearly their wording in the lead needs a
Well,
tightening up.
right. I mean, unless you go to court, and I'm a former practicing lawyer, you don't look at, first speech readings.
But that, that's actually used in clarification if there are any legal tests to be made.
Yes,
So-
yes, but my submission, I sound like a lawyer now, it should be in the legislation, and that would deal with a lot of concerns, particularly on means testing.